Devotional Wednesday, 15th of July. Let me begin with a quote from a politician. Intelligent accounts of foreign countries which have been recently published indicate that religion and the standard of morality are declining everywhere abroad, even more rapidly than in our own country. At the same time, the progress of irreligion and the decay of morals in our own country must alarm every considerate mind and forebode the worst consequences, unless the growing evil can be halted. That could have been a description of us today, 2 decades into the 21st century. But in fact, it was a description by William Wilberforce of Britain in the 18th century. Those on the bottom rung of the socio-economic ladder were crammed together in the most appalling conditions. Slaves to the mighty emerging industrial revolution. Children worked as many as 18 hours a day in the coal mines simply to bring home a few pennies for their parents. The established church was all but dead. Dr. Samuel Johnson commentated that he had never met a clergyman in the Church of England who was religious. God, it was thought, was more like an absentee landlord, and it was simply a matter of doing the best you can, ethics, not religion, which was the key. This was the world into which William Wilberforce was born in Hull in 1759. Educated at Cambridge University, he lived off his parents' wealth, drinking and gambling their money away. Although bright, he did very little work. He became best friends with his contemporary, William Pitt, who at the age of 24 became Prime Minister in 1783. Almost for a bit of a laugh, Wilberforce stood for Parliament as MP for Hull in 1780 at the age of 21 and 1. While in the Continent for a holiday after his election, he met an old schoolmaster from Hull. The teacher was a Bible-believing evangelical Christian, and during the trip through the Alps, Wilberforce began to read the Bible every day, and then very slowly the change began to occur, a testimony to the power of God's book. Wilberforce still went about his social life, but became more and more dissatisfied with its shallowness and superficiality. Surely there must be more to life than this, he said. A year or so later, he knew he had to make a straight choice. On the one hand, his ambition, friends and fame, and on the other, a personal commitment to the Lord Jesus Christ. Here are some entries from his diary. 27th of November. I must awake to my dangerous state and never be at rest till I have made my peace with God. My heart is so hard, my blindness so great, that I cannot get a due hatred of sin, though I see I am all corrupt and blinded to the perception of spiritual things. 29th of November. Pride is my greatest stumbling block. This went on, and then in December he knew he needed help, and like Nicodemus, he went out at night to search for a clergyman who did believe and found him. He was a former slave trader turned evangelical preacher and hymn writer, John Newton, who wrote Amazing Grace. And so Wilberforce came to a personal knowledge and trust in the Lord Jesus Christ, discovering for himself how amazing that grace really was. And rather prophetically, Newton said to him, "The Lord has raised you up to the good of his church and for the good of his nation." We'll continue this story tomorrow.